Plant Buddies. So today we are going to be doing an update on episode number 6 when I planted my Chrysula Babies necklace cuttings. This is it, Chrysula Babies necklace cuttings, and Echeveria agavoides red tip that I planted as bare root succulents. Okay, so we are now at about week 6 or 7 since I have planted them. I'm not exactly sure, but round it off to just maybe 6 weeks, 6.5 weeks. Okay, we're gonna check on their roots just so I can show you the progress of how long succulents cuttings do take to root. We will start with our Chrysula Babies necklace over here. Put the other one to the side, and I'm gonna pull some out. So the way to check, the way to know if your cuttings have rooted is when I'll give them water about after 4 weeks because I pulled them out. But a good sign that they are taking in water if you have watered them is that they start to fatten up and firm up again. And as you can see here, as I'm pressing, these guys are back to being fat and firm, although not all of them root at the same time. Okay, some of them actually won't even root. That's just the way it is. This one right here, I am not too sure if it has rooted because it is soft. You can see it kind of bending right as I press on it, as to where this one is completely firm and it's hard, and so is this. So I will probably pull this one just to see if it has rooted, and then we will pull one that's nice and firm so I can show you how much root growth there is at approximately about 6 weeks after planting Chrysula Babies necklace cuttings. These guys are pretty easy to take care of. I don't have a hard time with them at all. Water them, don't water them. They're fine. They're not very picky at all. So first, let's choose one that's a little bit on the soft side. Let's see if it has rooted. Okay. This focus, is it focusing? Okay, I think that's the best I can do. Sorry. You can see the roots right there. It has rooted, but it looks like it just started rooting. That's why it's still kind of soft, and you know, it's not firm like the rest. But the good news is, guys, at 6 weeks, look at the roots that it grew. I planted this as a completely bare stem as a cutting. So I will just gently place it in there because I don't want to rip any of those roots. Also, these are going to need water soon, but because I just pulled that out, you know, and I could have possibly ripped a root or two, I'm going to give it about 2 days before I give them water again, and they will be okay. Now let's pull one that's already really like nice and firm that I know for sure has rooted. Okay, number one thing, guys, if your succulent doesn't even want to come out when you try, I'm trying to pull on it right now and it's pretty in there, that's a good indication that it has rooted. So if you have not watered, that would be a good time to water it. Oh gosh, I don't want to pull, but I will do it for you guys just so I can show you. I'm trying to loosen the roots a bit in the bottom so I don't rip roots. Just hold on a few seconds. Try to get the soil off. Okay, so look at the roots on that. Okay, we planted this as a cutting with no roots at all. If you want to see how they looked when I first got them, please check episode number 6 on my channel. So there it is. You know, one thing I noticed about these guys, because I haven't owned these for long, the leaves in the bottom, like, they get really hard and crispy when the plant uses it up. So you want to try to be gentle when you take that off, because I have broken stems in the past doing this. And if it really doesn't want to come off, it's kind of unsightly, that's why. But if it doesn't want to come off, just don't take it off. There, I just took some off. It tends to do that. I don't know why, but sometimes there will be little babies that will pop out of there where I just pulled off some of the dried leaves. Okay, so look at those roots. That's pretty good for 6 weeks progress, guys. So don't worry, you know, when I say do not water your cuttings right away after planting, it is because it takes them a while to root. And like I said, you know, sometimes not all cuttings will take. Look at this one. There is a little bit of life in there, and it's still possible because I actually do see roots. I think this one might have popped out of the soil. So if that happens to you, I'm going to take off some of the dried leaves here that it used up. And let's try to plant it back and see. Oh no, there you go. Okay, no. No. There, I'll just plant it like this. Maybe it'll still grow. We'll see. But that's about how long it takes for this plant. I'm just checking on. So, man, see, these guys are like not even in the ground. That's why they didn't root. Oh, let me just, because that stem is completely dried off. Okay, so let me take off some of the hardened leaves over here, and I am going to plant this back as a cutting. There. Plant it back. See how it goes. If it doesn't make it, it doesn't make it. But these guys are pretty good. Cuttings root really easily. So as long as the stem is still good and healthy, it should be okay. Okay. So now let's clean up the mess a little bit here, so it's nice and done. Now let's check on our Echeveria agavoides red tip that I planted as that I planted bare root when I planted it. Okay, when I received it in the mail. So let's check on her roots. I know this has rooted as well because I have checked. I checked in about week 3. No new growth on the roots yet. You know, I always wait for like new white growth before I water, just to make sure. I think about week 5, guys. Week 5, I saw some little hair roots. So, okay, here. Let's take this one out. Okay, it's pretty in there. I don't even want to take it out. When there is resistance, it means that your succulent has rooted, okay? Like, well. So, I'm just going to take off some leaves here that it has used up because it has been needing water. And as you can see, guys, focus. Okay, look at those white roots. Those are all brand new roots that it has grown. This is 6 weeks time. I did not water until about week 5. Okay, when it had roots. I just placed it in a bright and cool shaded area, and it did absolutely fine there. You will, you know, when you do order, when you order succulents from the mail, okay, don't water them right away, even if they come bare root, because you want most of the time the roots that it comes with will most likely be dead, or they'll just be really dehydrated that, you know, they will need a break, and you don't want to water them right away. You don't have to do exactly what I do, but I have the best results with succulents this way when I plant them bare root. I do not water them right away. I am placing rocks. I don't like top dressing, but I am placing rocks just right underneath the leaves in the bottom. I'm not completely covering the soil. Right in the bottom because I don't want it to touch the soil when I water. We can take another one over here. See, okay, as you can see, look at this one. You saw how that one had a lot of roots, right? This one over here, it has started growing a little bit of roots also. There's some white hair roots there. I don't know if you can see it in the bottom, but not as much as this one has. But it is starting to grow roots, meaning I can, you know, it's safe to water, and I have been watering them. So just want to get as much soil around those roots as possible. Because these did not come with a stem, it's kind of hard. So you just place it over. You just place it on top of the soil, and it will be okay. And the last one, let us check. See, this was just right on top of the soil too. There's a little bit of white hair roots there, but not as much as this one has. But it's okay. I've been watering them, and it's been, I don't know if this one's been taking water, but this is why I don't water them right away, because sometimes they don't have as much roots. But I'm pretty sure that this will survive. I do see just barely any roots there, but it's there. So just try to get as much soil around those roots as possible. And then, like I said, I only have these rocks here just so the leaves don't touch this the wet soil. Just don't, the leaves don't touch the soil when I do water them. Okay, so there you go. That is the progress on my Echeveria agavoides red tips. 6 weeks in, about 6 to 7 weeks in for root growth. Okay, they are now ready to be watered, and I will show you how lightly I water newly rooted succulents, because you don't want to just drown them right away. Okay, so if you are watering your succulents, water them. If you pull them out like that of the soil, make sure you wait at least 2 days to water them. But I am going to water this now because I know they will be okay. Just for the sake of showing you guys how to water them when they have just started rooting. Okay, so obviously these just started growing the roots, and these guys barely started growing any new roots, but they are both ready for water. You just water just enough. I don't measure how much water I give, but I just give enough to wet the root ball. Okay, so there you go. Not too much, but that's good enough. And then Echeveria agavoides lipstick. We just kind of water and make sure that the root ball gets wet. And that's enough. There you go. That is how much water you give newly rooted cuttings and bare root succulents that have just started growing new white roots. So the reason why I don't water them very much at this point is because they don't have much of a root system yet. They just started growing it. So I watered them, as you saw, I watered them just a little bit, and then in about 4 days the soil will be dry. And if the leaves are wrinkled and soft, that means it's time to water again. Over time, as the roots establish more, I will be giving more water, but I will be watering them less often. The reason why at this point is because they don't have much of a root system yet. Even if I wet the whole soil, their roots are only, you saw how little those roots are. They're not going to drink it all the way down here. So you just want to give them a little bit. And then over time, as those roots dig deeper into the soil, you could give them more water, but then you're going to water them less often. So right now, at about 6 to 7 weeks, I'm watering them about every 4 to 5 days, okay? But, you know, 3 months from now, I will be probably completely soaking the soil until it drips out of the bottom of the pot. And then I will only be watering them probably once every 2 to 3 weeks when the leaves at the bottom of the plants are wrinkly and thinning out. If you guys don't know exactly when to water your succulents, please watch episode number 10, When to Water Succulents by Understanding the Condition of Their Leaves. Learn how to read their leaves for when they need water or not. Don't just go by the soil is dry. Episode number 10 will really help you guys understand succulents a lot more, and when they need water and when they don't want it. This is Christine from these Succulent Buddies. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you.